Hey guys, my name's Chris. I was just going to share a couple thoughts on the price of gold and silver. Here's what I think is going to happen: is around the election, excuse me, in a couple months, um, or not a couple months, couple weeks, like November 2022. Uh, After the election, I believe things are going to escalate a lot. So you're going to see the war in Ukraine escalate. And really, what's going to happen is, I believe, like the oil markets are going to like really go up, because that's how the people outside the United States are trying to collapse the dollar. China, Russia, and then the Saudis they're not really, you know, they're like going to play a part. And I'll share a proverb too. It says, "The king's heart is like channels of water in the hands of the Lord. He turns it whichever way he chooses." So what this means is that I'm just going to use the Saudis as an example. Instead of like releasing a bunch of oil, they decided not to release barely any oil, okay, to keep the supply low. So God has allowed their heart to do that, and so what that's doing is that is bringing less favor to countries like the United States that are dependent on oil. And so it's just like, at a certain point, Vladimir Putin decided that he was going to invade Ukraine. Well, God had turned his heart towards doing that. Again, the proverb is, "The king's heart is like channels of water in the hands of the Lord. He turns it whichever way he chooses." So he can like turn people's heart, towards favor towards you. And then he could also, turn somebody's heart towards doing something, not good. So anyways, I'm getting off on kind of a tangent. So what I believe is this is like just more evidence of judgment on the United States of America. And I believe that the dollar is going to crash pretty hard. And when that happens, you're going to see commodities spike. I read one article earlier this year that said that the issue with oil right now could spike oil prices to like 175 a barrel, and as high as like 400 a barrel, because of what's going on right now mirrors the early 1970s oil crisis. So, excuse me, if it's going to cost more for oil, it's also going to cost more for price of goods, right? So goods and services are going to cost more, and oil is traded primarily in dollars right now, but other countries are starting to get off the dollar. Like, people don't want to be holding dollars anymore because we've printed so much money, and it's also, a trade war. So, anyways, I believe that gold and silver are going to go up a lot. I know that they're really down right now, but there's also this false reality that the dollar is a safe haven. Well, it might be a safe haven today, but what's it going to be like in 6 months? Are you really going to want to be holding that many dollars? Or are you going to want to hold something else? So, I don't really have a dollar, or a dollar figure for how much gold and silver are going to be. But I did read earlier this year, Goldman Sachs thought that gold was going to go up to about 2,500 before the end of the year. So we could see a big spike. War also, spikes commodities, with uncertainty. So that's kind of what I think is going on with, with gold and silver. I think it's down right now, but I think it's going to go up. And like when it starts to go up this time, I think it's going to really go up. It's not going to like slow down. So, might be a good time to grab some, might not. But those are my thoughts on gold and silver prices, and the proverb that says that the king's heart is like channels of water in the hands of the Lord. He turns it whichever way he chooses.